Yes. So, with all that being said, I am so thrilled to have Stefania on to bring you guys some joy and some hope and inspiration. And I know she's going to do just that. So, let me grab my guest right now so that we can start a super fun episode. Okay, I think I requested you right. There you are. Hi, Stefania.
Hello. Hi. I feel like it's a tough. Oh my friend. Can you hear me?
There you are. You froze for a second, but you're back.
Okay. I was just saying,
Hi.
I'm so sorry about your friend. This is
Oh.
heartbreaking.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And as I said, I know that she would have wanted me to continue on with the show. And you are somebody who everybody was so excited by to be here and so touched by. And you touched so many lives. So I knew I had to do the show this week with you.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. So thank you so much for being here, Stefania. Oh
Pleasure.
my God, we have so much to talk about. But first of all, huge congratulations to you on all of the success of your work on Grey's Anatomy and, of course, Station 19, the spinoff.
Thank you.
And the show is coming back this month. Fans are like, we're ready. We're ready.
I
So
am too.
I bet you are. I bet you are. So I want to bring it back for a minute to the beginning. When you first learned about this role, right? What was it that attracted you to wanting to be a part of this series in Shondaland to begin with?
Actually, this question makes me laugh because I feel like at the time, I didn't have the luxury of being attracted or not to a show because I was like waiting table, busing table, actually, at the restaurant that I worked at. So anything they would offer me that had to do with TV, theater, or film, I'd be like, okay, I do it for free. Sure, let's go. So, and then it happened to be a show that I was a fan of, which was like a massive plus. And my best friend in Italy, and I always talked about the show. So it was a huge bonus and surprise. But yeah, at the time, I didn't have the thing of like, do I want to do a Grey's Anatomy or no? Should I do something else instead?
Right, right. Wow, that's so amazing that you were a fan of what you were
Yeah.
auditioning for. Was that like an outer body experience?
Keep pinching myself when I go into the first table or the first table read. See, I still get nervous talking about it. I'm like, oh my god, is this Shonda Rhimes? Is that Ellen Pompeo? It was crazy.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, of course,
Yeah.
you play the fan favorite character of Karina DeLuca on the show. So, how did you first hear about this role? What was that audition like? And had you ever tried out for any other roles in the Shondaland universe, or was this the first?
No, I hadn't tried any other roles. Well, I have to say, like, this woman changed my life. Her name is Jessica Sherman. She's a casting director. I went to a casting director workshop just shortly after my mom passed. And I brought a monologue about this woman losing her mother due to cancer. I'm going to cry now. And I was obviously very believable at it. And at the end of the workshop, she was like, "Oh my God, I feel like you're underrepresented. Um, I'm going to introduce you to some managers and agents that I work with." And she introduced me to 10 of them. And then of these 10, two reached back and met with me. And of these two, one of them was like, you have no credit to your name, but in LA, I think we say hip bucket. So it means like I'm not going to officially represent you, but if something that makes me think of you comes along, I'll submit you for it and see what happens. And 4 months later, I got this email saying you've been submitted for an audition for Grey's Anatomy. And that was my first audition for this manager, and I went, and here I am.
Wow, that's an amazing story. And I'm sure that was super emotional for you with
Yeah,
your mom. Wow.
yeah.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. What a fan favorite character you play. I think one of the most beloved characters on television ever is your
Oh my
character.
God.
I do, I
I
truly
don't
do.
know
So
about that, but thank you.
I do. So what do you love? I've heard so much from the fans what they love. What do you love about getting to play this character?
I love her. I love Karina because at the beginning she was kind of like a comedic relief. So she would say things that no other character would say, but she said it in like it's such a matter of fact that I don't know why you're reacting like this. And I thought it was hysterical. She was like like simulating nipple stimulation in front of everybody, and what are you talking about? So I love the sassiness and the matter of fact. And then, yeah, she's just very funny and honest and fearless. And she has a little temper, but she also has a soft side. So it's a very fun character to play.
Could you relate to this character at all?
100%. I wish it was a little bit more like her in a lot of circumstances, but yeah, she's a great inspiration for me in my real life.
Oh, that's so amazing. And fans just so love following your relationship on the show with Maya and of course played by Danielle who was on this show and seeing you two your journey unfold. So now you're married, y'all are talking about children. But let's talk about Danielle for a minute. What do you love about working with her in such an intimate way?
Everything. It's so easy. It was so easy from the first moment. We always tell the story about the table read and the chemistry at the table read without even knowing each other. And we're so lucky that 3 years in, the relationship is still very solid and we still get along so well. And we both love what we do, so we do it in a very committed way. We approach it differently. She's a very alpha. She's like, follow the rules, do this, word perfect. I'm more like flowy, it's fine, like but we compensate each other also because of our differences. So it's so fun.
Did it take a while to get your groove together, or was it pretty instant
Oh,
after that table read? It was
it's
pretty instant?
instant. We could have like crappy day. We show up on set and we start the scene, they call action, and we're like poof, locked into each other's eyes and we go for it. So it's pretty magical.
Wow, that's so cool. I love hearing that on-screen relationships and
Yeah.
closeness translates to off-screen and true friendship, right?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
A beautiful thing. And the storyline, I mean, I received so many messages when I announced you as my guest saying that your character makes people feel so seen and so represented. And it means so much to so many people that they can see a couple on television and think, oh my God, that's me. Like that can be something
Right.
I have one day. What does
Right.
that mean to you?
Everything. I feel like it's so important for all of us to have expanders, to have people that have characteristics similar to our own and make us feel like, well, if she did it, I can do it. If that character did it, if the actress did it, I can do it. And I feel like it's how we grow, how we expand, and it's so important. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm 36. I just turned 36. And when I grew up, oh, thank you. Growing up, I never saw signs of representation in television and media. There were very few, maybe three or two. I mean, there was like nothing out there to relate to. So
Right.
I think seeing everything I'm seeing today, that's deep and meaningful and not just a coming out story, right? It's a beautiful love story.
No, it's so important. And I feel like Shondaland has always done an incredible job in making so like a massive chunk of the population represented.
Yeah.
And I feel like they did even once again, they did it. Now it's the accented non-American character that is also like a fearless doctor and a bisexual person, like somebody that can do whatever she wants for a living and love who she wants in her private life.
I think that's so beautiful. Were you at all worried or fearful when you took on a bisexual role or nothing, none of that?
Well, I have to say, the only people that gave me crap about it was like my aunt. Bless her, she lives in Sicily, very conservative. So she was like, could you not have picked a different character? I was like, what? But I felt like that was a teaching moment for them too. And be like, this is a beautiful character. Come on. Do not say that. I could have not asked for anything better. And I feel like it was tough. It was tough because my family was kind of like, judging me a little for it. Not my immediate family, my brother and sister and friends are all very open-minded and very like welcoming towards. It's like do whatever you want, as long as you don't hurt other people. Do whatever makes you happy, just don't hurt other people and I'm fine. But other members of my family are a little bit more conservative. So I was like, no, I'm doing it and I'm proud of it. Watch this.
Oh, good for you. And like you said, if you can kind of change hearts and minds even a little bit, even one person, I think that's so powerful, right?
Yeah, 100%.
That's great. Good for you. Well, like I said, I know that storyline just means so much to so many, and we're all cheering you two on. So it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. How would you describe your character's evolution throughout all the years of playing her?
Well, as I was saying, she kind of started on as a comedic relief. She was inappropriate, it's like saying inappropriate things, which were not really inappropriate. They were just a little more out there. And then as the season progressed, her relationship with Arizona ended, and it ended in a kind of sad way. And then the whole storyline about Karina losing her brother, which was like so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So I felt like we went deeper and deeper and deeper and showed a different side of her personality. And as an actor, I couldn't ask for anything more. I love to go from like funny to crying to angry. It's so much fun.
Yeah, well, you do it very impressively.
Oh, thank you.
Was the scene with your brother on the show, was that one of the more difficult scenes for you to shoot?
On an emotional level, yes. I cry very easily, as you can tell. I feel like I already almost cried twice during this live.
I'm
My
Italian
heart.
too. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I feel like my heart is right here. You don't have to work really hard to see it. And so crying is a very easy thing for me. And the storyline broke my heart. And I have a very good relationship with Giacomo, that played Andrea De Luca. And so the whole thing of him leaving the show and him dying that way was so dramatic. So after 12 hours of full-on crying, I was like, oh, I need to go to bed. I'm exhausted. But it was incredibly rewarding as well.
Yeah, powerful, powerful work.
Mm.
Now, there are so many scenes and moments for your character, I'm sure, that you love, and I know you've been asked about some of your favorites, and you've talked about some. But what's maybe a scene that people haven't heard about as being one of your favorites, and what would that scene be and why?
I feel like the first one I will never forget. The first time I was on the Grey's Anatomy set, I was like, "Oh my God, these kids!" And I was playing Arizona's love interest, speaking in Italian with this actor that was that is Italian and played my brother, and I was like, "Wow, this is also surreal." And Debbie Allen was directing, and she's super like such a strong personality, so I was terrified, but it all went so smoothly. And I feel like my secret weapon was the Italian. My Italian dialogue, I was like, nobody understands me, so I can say whatever I want, and even if I mess up, I'm fine. So that was like my safe spot. And Giacomo was like, don't worry about it. We don't tell anybody. We just fix it after. But I was very nervous. So I will never forget that first one.
I'm sure that's a good memory. And what about one of your favorite scenes with Danny?
One of my favorite scenes with Danielle, there's so many. I feel like this last episode not the last one that aired, but the one where we were home making babies. We had very little time to prepare, and we had to shoot all of the scenes the day after we got the script. So we had very little time to do everything. It was 4 scenes, all about us. And I feel like that really, it was a testament to how our connection and our the fact that they were so good together. Because if we came out alive from that day and the scenes came out good, it's like, wow, we're good together.
Yeah, that's intense. That's intense. I mean, is that the norm? Do you usually not have a lot
No.
of preparation?
No, we usually, the writers are great, but I feel like with COVID and everything, and a lot of time the schedules gets shifted and turned around. So I feel like we have to be more flexible because of all that's going on. And so it's
Yeah.
not the norm, but it happens. It happens
No, I don't think people realize how much work goes into what you guys as artists do. It's, we see the final product and it looks seamless on television and masterful performances, but the amount of preparation and rehearsal and memorization and all of that, it's a lot
Yeah,
of work.
so fun. I can't
Yeah.
complain. I love when people are like, we're changing this. I'm like, yes. Danielle is a little less inclined to that because of the kind of personality she has. But
Right.
I have other things that that make me mad, and she's very good at be like, don't worry about it, we got this. So I feel like that's another reason why we're a very good team.
Yeah, for sure. Now I have to ask because you're working so much, what do you two do for fun? Do you ever get to like go watch a movie, go out for dinner? Like, do you get to chill a little bit?
Well, the past 2 years, not much for fun because of freaking COVID. But
Yeah.
in general, I feel like LA for me is very work oriented, and then I just get out of LA and I go travel, and that's my fun part. But yeah, I watch a lot of movies. We actually started doing this thing of the outdoor, like a drive-in cinema. That was fun as a group,
Cool.
some of the cast members and the writers. But and then both Danielle and I directed our first short film, so I am working on it a lot these days. So I'm very busy with work related things, but I love doing all of that.
Well, when you love it, it doesn't feel like work, right?
Exactly.
That's amazing. And I want to talk about your short film a bit later too.
Yeah.
But you have so much you should be proud of, but when you think about your work on Station 19, what are you the most proud of? What makes you smile and say, "You know what? I'm doing something good here."
You know what? I feel like I've said this before, but the most rewarding messages that I receive are messages from parents of mostly foreign parents, of
Hmm.
foreign parents of young bisexual or gay girls that and they often say like, thanks to your character, my daughter came out to us and found the courage to realize that her sexuality isn't bad, isn't wrong, it's just different.
Hmm.
And that it gets me emotional every time because of what we were saying before. Like when you were growing up, you didn't feel represented, so you had to fight so much harder to find to expose your true self, expose your sexual identity. So I feel like that is, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure those messages really sometimes probably surprise you too, because in your mind,
Mhm.
you're there, you're doing your job, that's what you're here to
Exactly.
do, but you're creating such a lasting effect on so many people, you know?
Yeah, you're right. We don't realize at all. That's why it's for sure a surprise, but it's like, wow, if we can also do that aside from loving what we do and telling beautiful stories, wow, massive accomplishment.
So beautiful. I love that. Now, I don't want to get you in trouble, but can you give us any teases of what's to come when the season resumes? Anything at all? Little something.
I don't even remember where we left off because in the middle we started shooting already. So I'm like, am I gonna spoil massively something? Well, I feel like we're trying. We've agreed. Maya's come around. She's agreed that she's on board with wanting to have a baby. We now have to hash out the details because obviously it's not gonna be as easy as just like let's try until
Right.
it happens. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun to navigate now this new phase of trying to become mothers.
Yeah, that's a whole new chapter for us to watch. It's going to be very, very fun, and it's fun seeing how you guys interact with the cast and their reactions to everything. I mean, this cast is amazing. What do you love about working with this cast?
The cast and the so I love our showrunner. Krista is incredible. She's an
Yeah.
incredible being and an incredible artist. Obviously, she's done. Come on, genius. And then I feel like I work a lot with Danielle, so I spend a lot of time with Danielle. But I feel like most of my relationship with the cast members are the same on screen as they are off screen. So like Gray, Damon, Jack's relationship and I is very similar in real life to what we have on screen. It's like a little brother dynamic, and I'm
Oh.
always like bossing him around and be like, no, don't do this. And he's like, okay, you're so intimidating. um, Boris, Sullivan, I love his sense of humor. He's very dry and sarcastic, and it cracks me up. And I'm always like the goofball that kind of like, yeah. But yeah, I feel like in general, we're all a little older and more mature, and so appreciative of where, like, what we get to do for a living. So it's fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. It's nice to see, on-air relationships translate to off-air. Did I just see you petting your very famous dog?
Jeff, she's not
Yeah.
here right now.
Oh, I thought you were petting the
I
dog.
would. She's like coming actually in a couple of hours.
A lot of people were like, "Say hi to the dog."
You know, Jeff is amazing. She's the best.
Oh, that's so fun. Now, we have some fan questions, but before we get to the fan questions,
Yeah.
I love that you are the epitome of somebody who has worked so hard coming from another country, from Italy, from Sicily,
Yeah. Good
from
job.
Sicily, and
Well prepared.
came here and created this career for yourself. So, what was that journey like? Because I think a lot of people are super inspired by you doing that and taking such a big leap of faith. So, what was that journey from Sicily to here like?
Ha. It was long. I'm
Yeah.
almost 40, so it was going like it was done step by step. But I feel like I was always very fearless as a young adult, and I always followed my gut. So I started working in a holiday resort when I was 15 in the summers, and this girl was a dancer and she was doing it professionally. And she was like, "You should come to Milan." And I was like, "What? You can be a dancer as a job? This is amazing. You don't have to you didn't have to like teach in a school." And I felt like that was my expander. I was like, if she can do it, I can do it too. So I moved to Milan, did a performing art college, started working, and then I was like, I need to learn a new language. This Italian thing, I was like, I need to speak English when I travel. I don't speak any English. How do I do this? I met on a job a crew from London. One of the people was Sicilian, but was born and raised in London. So he spoke Sicilian dialect and English. And he was like, "You should come. London is amazing." I was like, okay. I went for a week, booked 3 jobs, and moved to London. So, and then same thing with LA. I was like, okay, I'm feeling it, I'm going. So I feel like I've been very good at following my guts. LA was a massive setback for me. It crushed my ego. It was like, yeah, sure, you were a dancer for a living up until this time, not here. Here you have to start from zero. The city is very expensive. It's so competitive. Everybody works in the same industry, so it's very hard not to get caught up in this rat wheel and try to do other things like traveling, go to see your family and friends. At some point I was like, I can't leave LA because when I leave I'm gonna get an audition and I can't miss the audition. I was like, oh my god, you can't do that. You have to live a life. And then I read The Big Magic from Elizabeth Gilbert.
I love that. Love that
But
book.
blew my mind. I was like, boom, this is it. I need to be willing to do this, even if on the side I have to keep waitressing. And
Yeah.
if I'm really committed to that. So I feel like find your natural talent, your natural inclination, work at getting better at it, and then wait for the opportunity to do it as a job. And if it doesn't come, you have to be okay with keep being whatever you are on the side that allows you to follow your artistic sparkle.
Oh my God. This is all sorts of inspiration on this Tuesday. I love this. I love this so much. You should be so proud of everything you're doing and accomplishing. And I like your story. I really like your story because a lot of people think if I don't hit a certain amount of success before 30 or 35, then it's done. But that's not true. If
Yeah.
you stick with it, amazing things can happen. Look at your story. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It was tough. It was tough. My parents are like, "You're waitressing. Why didn't you come here and do that? Why do you have to move to America to do that?" And I'm like, "No, but there is a reason. I'm trying to." They were like, "You're so far. You can do a job that you can do anywhere. Why is 12 hours of a flight away?" So
Well,
it was tough. It was tough, but
yes, but thank God you followed your instinct because look at what you're doing, right?
thank you.
Amazing. So let's get to some fan questions, okay?
Okay.
So these
Okay.
were some of the most popular fan questions I received in my DMs. The ones I kept seeing over and over again are the ones I picked. So,
Okay.
number one, Why do you think fans fell in love with the Marina relationship? What makes it so special?
I like to believe that, okay, I believe we choose our friends because we have chemistry with them, because we have a connection with them, and that makes their relationship special and unique. And I feel like Danielle and I were so lucky that we have that. I feel like we were attracted to each other. We had this chemistry. We liked each other as people, and I feel like that translates because I think we're good actors, but I feel like when there is something more, when there is natural chemistry, when there is natural connection, makes the acting job so much easier. So I hope, I mean, I think maybe that's part of the reason. Also, the writers are great and write great stories for us.
Yes, yes, I would agree. It's all of the above. Next question. I love this question. What is one thing Karina could learn from Stefania, and what can Stefania learn from Karina?
So Karina can learn from Stefania?
If anything.
Not much, to be very honest. I think she's a better human being than I am. She's more figured out than I am, for sure. Um, that was saying something messed up, but I feel like Karina's style is a little bit more grown up than I would like. I would like her to be a little bit more youthful style clothing wise, but I guess she's a doctor, so fine. Maybe that's what Karina could learn from Stefania. And then Stefania from Karina, I love how unapologetic she is about what she truly believes, and I feel like I implement that more in my life.
That's amazing. I love that. Great answers.
Thank you.
Is there a fun behind the scenes story that you can share that the fans don't know? Some sort of silly story.
Stuff because I feel like we share them all, and or it happens a lot. I don't know. I wish I was more prepared. I had something smarter to say about this.
I know it's hard when these are just the random fan questions, so anything come to mind.
Behind, let's pause this and go ahead
Okay.
and see if something comes up.
All right, fair enough. Next question is, do you and Danielle ever improvise? And if so, what's been your favorite moment you improvise?
We improvise a bunch, especially now that Danielle is okay with it. A bunch of kisses were improvised. A lot of our body stuff isn't scripted. The stage
Really?
direction doesn't say she touches her elbow or her shoulder, or she kisses her shoulder or anything like that. They just like to have an intimate moment. So a lot of that is improvised between us, and we're so comfortable with each other that sometimes we're like, oh, you had, like, we see after that my hand was on her butt and she was like, did you do that? And I was like, did I do that? And then, but it's like, again, so organic, and we're so in the moment that we don't even think about that. So those moments are usually organically crafted in there during the scene. And then I feel like word wise, dialogue wise, not as much. Not as much. Sometimes there's like little things here and there, or like I love you, or the Italian stuff. I always put it in like here and there, and now they started writing them. So there's a bambina here, there's a bella there, but
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah.
That's amazing. And it's truly a testament to, again, how close you guys are to be able to trust one another to do things that are off the cuff, right?
Yeah.
That's
Definitely.
amazing. A couple more fan questions. I thought this was a cool question. Your favorite perk of having a female love interest?
I feel like with women it's a little easier. We're in general a little bit more gentle and sensitive and respectful of the work environment. I feel like I've had male partners that I had to kiss. I had once this guy had to kiss me, and I was so not we were not in the same bubble vibe. We were not attracted to each other. We didn't have good chemistry. It was just very, very fake. And I got hives all down my neck. Every time I would get close to me and try to kiss me, I'd be like, hives. I had a physical reaction to how much to how uncomfortable I was. So I think, yeah, working with a woman, it's a little easier. And working with a woman that you like is a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah, wow, that's amazing. And as a follow-up to that, the same person asked, and what was your favorite kiss or romantic moment together? Because there's been so many great, beautiful moments you've had.
I think the last one where I'm sitting, the episode where we had those baby making scenes, and then I was sitting on the table, and Danielle went to the fridge and grabbed chocolate and ice cream and stuff. And I felt like the last moment in there where we decided who was going to carry the baby and all that was, again, very unrehearsed, very organic, and it felt so good. Really.
Y'all are so romantic. Are you this romantic in real life?
No, I am definitely not. I'm very pragmatic.
I don't know. She might be rubbing off on you.
We're definitely rubbing off on each other. She started doing this every 2 seconds, and I started bossing people around and be like, "This is what we do."
That's awesome. And then this question I really loved, especially given, what my friend went through. It's about mental health. And a lot of people were wondering, how do you stay mentally healthy, especially being so busy and with your career? What are ways that you practice mental health, being good to yourself?
So I started doing this course called To Be Magnetic that I always recommend. And it's, for me, it's like the best form of therapy, and it grounds me a lot. And it's a series of podcasts that I usually listen to while I'm walking down the street, while I'm walking Jeff down the street. And then I haven't gone to therapy in a while, but when I lost my mother, for example, I was very angry, and I needed to learn how to set boundaries. And I feel like that was a very painful and tough process, but I feel like that process taught me how certain things are not worth stressing over. And so I've become better because I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? What's definitely not going to be as bad as losing my mother. So after that, I feel like I'm a little bit more bulletproof. But boundaries were an amazing word that I learned in America, and I'm never going to forget.
Yeah.
And then surround yourself from people that support you, support who you are in the good and in the bad, and just detox from negative people, negative energy, and do things that make you happy. Garden, walk, go to the cinema, and don't be afraid to be alone and do those things alone, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think those are all incredible tools, and we all have different tools in our toolbox, right?
What
And
are
I
your
think,
what are your tools? I feel like you
um,
have some good ones.
yeah, I'm a huge, I need to work out every day.
Uh,
It's where I clear my mind. It's where I can, just not think about work for an hour.
Amazing.
I love walking. I love writing. So I have a
Right.
journal, and I take a minute, not every day, but a few times a week. It's called the 1 minute journal. And I just write things that I'm grateful for.
Whatever comes out.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of podcasts like you. I think they're super important. I surround myself with, positive people who are not toxic. I
Great.
think we have to remember to not
I feel
keep
like
bad
that's the
people.
biggest thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And just having a time for me, like learning how to say no, kind of like your boundaries, learning
Exactly.
like, you know what, I'm not going to do that, or I'm not going to go here because I just need some me time.
100%. And I feel like also spending less time on social media could be good.
Yes, I
Could
agree
be
with you.
good. Yeah.
I completely agree with you. I think that it's a really hard, um, it's hard because we love social media, but
Hmm.
too much isn't always great.
Yeah, of everything. I'm terrible at social media. I feel like I'm very good in person. That's why to all the fans, if you ever see me in the street, come and say hi. But on social media, I suck. I just need the in-person interaction.
It's okay. We all feel you on that. Trust me. Now I have to share a message, and I hope Danielle's watching too. This is for the both of you. A lot of fans wrote to me saying that there was a certain fan, Luciana, I believe was her name, and she was about 24, and she sadly passed away from COVID. And a lot of the fans looked at her as like the leader, and she would bring a lot of the fans together and celebrate you and Danielle, and was such a champion for the both of you, and just so loved what you two stood for. And I think that from what I read from a few of her friends, the services are either today or tomorrow. So the timing of this interview is quite remarkable. So I was wondering, and they were wondering, if you could share any words of support for her family and for her girlfriend, and even for her who's watching, hopefully from up above, right now.
Oh my God, this is so tough. And I feel like there's so little that anybody can say to heal that kind of a pain, especially for her family, for her girlfriend, for her loved ones. It's just, yeah. I do believe that even when they're gone, people live on. I always say the story about booking this job, Grey's Anatomy job, going to the audition on my mom's birthday and starting working on my mom's name day, onomastico. And in a way, for me, that felt like she was watching me throughout all this. So I feel like feeling like even though they're not physically here, they're still here with us in some other way. I think is very helpful, beneficial, and and I hope all the family and the friends can find ways to still connect with her in spirit, even if her body is not here right now.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I know that's going to be very helpful to many people, and they're going to appreciate hearing from you. So that was very kind of you to offer those words. And before I let you go, I love asking this question to certain people I have on the show who I know would really appreciate it. And you strike me as somebody who would appreciate this question. And that question is, what is a piece of advice that you wish your younger self had known that can help, some of the younger fans tuned in today?
Stay true to your authentic self, which seems so basic, but it's so true. I feel like I lost
Yeah.
myself several times coming to a foreign country and traveling so much and trying to please everybody. And I feel like the most amazing work I've done, the most amazing relationship I've ever crafted, were the ones where I could truly be myself. And I feel like that's that's the reason why we're here, to do whatever our true self is inspired to do. And yeah, let's not let stupid voices from negative people affect who we really are. Keep improving, we keep becoming better, but not at the expenses of who we really are.
Oh my God. Beautiful advice that we should all remember time and time again. I love that so much. And to all of the fans who are tuned in, who are standing by your side, cheering you on, what do you want to say to everybody before we go?
You're freaking amazing. Never in a million years I would have expected to have so many people loving what I do and how I do it. And I was saying, I suck at social media, but please, if you meet me down the street, come and say hi. I would love to give you a hug.
Oh, I love that so much. Stefania, this was so much fun getting to talk to you. I could talk to you for hours. Thank you so much for
So
hanging out and for
oh my
joining
God,
this
are you
show.
kidding me? Thank you so much for bringing me on. And again, so many sad moments, but hopefully we managed to give a little smile as well today.
I think we did. And for everybody watching, I'm going to post this interview right now to my feed so you can rewatch it and share it. And if you haven't seen it, you can go find it. And I'll tag you as well, Stefania. And thank you,
Right.
thank you, thank you. I hope to interview you in person, maybe an on-set tour one day. We'll figure it out.
Amazing, exactly.
All right. All my love. Kisses. Mwah.
Bye. Kisses to you. Mwah.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.